Welcome to an AMA session. This is Thursday, the 20th of March, 2025. And good to hear from you guys. Good to see you. So we are here to answer your questions on anything related to the Cardano budget. So how can we help you today?
I'll just go ahead and start with, I don't have any specific questions at this time. I still feel like I'm playing catch up. So I was here to see how all this went and maybe learn a few things.
Sure, that's no problem for me to catch you up. Over the last couple of weeks, we set up the idea that we needed to step back as Intersect and give the DReps the time that they needed to be able to understand what we could provide for them as Intersect and what we shouldn't. So, lots of surveys, lots of X spaces, these AMA calls, just trying to hear from everybody and see what we can do to help. And so what we've been doing last few weeks, like I said, we've been trying to get into back into our core role, which is we're facilitators, supporters of the community, and we're not trying to set direction of anything without DRep delegation. So Constitution gave the DRep the authority. We understand that. We accept that. We leave it at that point. Now, what that has looked like now is us trying to get the surveys of the DReps, trying to get information from them, try to understand where they're at, and try to understand how we can help and where we fit in. The surveys are giving some helpful data right now. They still want Intersect to do several things for them. It's, kind of looking like a lot of what we were doing before, but with a change where the DReps make decisions first, and then we follow through from that. So my goal now is to continue doing this, kind of continue doing these AMA sessions, kind of continue doing the work that we need to do to keep hearing what's going on and keep developing what we need to develop for, to support the DReps. So there's tooling being built right now that's like temperature check tooling. It's like yes and no questions on budget items. So DReps will be able to sign into an interface. They'll be able to see the budget items. They can say, yes, I like it. No, I don't, to any number of budget items. And we can start having discussions around that. So coming up in April, we'll be having sessions like these, but very focused on individual budget items and what budget items need to be done. And then after that, we'll have around April 15th is the date we're projecting right now. We'd have that tool in place, and we could get down to the nitty-gritty of these are the things that each DRep supports and doesn't support. If you aren't aware right now, there are forms available on the Intersect website that no matter what your proposal is, no matter if you want to run it yourself or if you want Intersect to be an administrator for you. So what does it mean? Thanks, Kenrick. What does it mean for Intersect to be an administrator of a proposal? What that means is we provide the services of auditing your proposal to make sure it's compliant with the Constitution. If you need fiat currency and you can't receive ADA or stablecoins for some reason, it could not be you could not use ADA because some places actually cannot. They could contract with Intersect to allow their payments in fiat. And we use the same rigorous elements of financial control that we would have in the smart contracts that we're going to do for the folks that can receive ADA directly or smart or stable tokens. So that information, that's what you would use Intersect as an administrator for, or just for the auditing. If you only need help with the auditing, and that's one thing. And yeah, thank you, Christina. Yeah, you can say no to Intersect, and you can put in your own auditing choices and all of that kind of stuff. It's entirely up to you.
The requirement under the Constitution is that it has to be a separate entity. Just to clarify for anybody thinking, I can audit myself.
Exactly. Thank you, Christina. Exactly. You cannot audit yourself. So that's where, we feel like that's a good economy of scale, is that Intersect is going to be performing an audit on everything that they're the administrator of. That's built into our budget, our operating budget. So it's there. It's part of our ask for our operating budget. So, you then don't have to take additional steps to do the audit if that's what your selection is. And again, if you need fiat currency, that's another thing where you need to have an administrator that can do the conversion for you to fiat to give you the currency that you need. So
I glitched for a second. Did you say that Intersect covers this free of charge for people?
Intersect covers it. The charge has to be in your proposal.
Is there like a set rate or?
Yeah, exactly. We would help you put a set rate in there for the audit for your proposal, because if you look at the text of the Constitution, that's what it says. You have to set a separate set of funds for the audit, and that's what we would do. We'd help you set those separate set of funds for the audit, and it would all be transparent.
I didn't know if you had like a percentage or something you guys were already going to use.
We did it originally as a percentage. That wasn't popular, so we're doing flat fee. So that's
like a get a quote per situation kind of thing.
Absolutely. So, and that's why we're open to help anybody that wants that help. And obviously you're welcome to have a different model to get it. The other thing that we're doing with the form is we're just helping to consolidate for the DReps. That's all that is. There is nothing about that would be Intersect making a decision on anything. We're just consolidating the data so that it's all in one place, so the DReps have an easy place to be able to look at all the possible proposals. So we encourage everybody, even if you're going to run everything yourself, it would be really great if you put it in there. You don't have to. You're not forced to. You can put your own budget action on everything out there and go to the DReps directly. There's nothing stopping anyone from doing that.
Got 10 days left, right?
You've got 10 days left before we go public. After we go public, we're going to continue to take submissions. But right now, it's just a time for everybody that wants help getting their proposals together. They can have help getting their proposals together, and we'll collect those proposals and help anyone that needs help getting it up and running. And then after that 10 days, we'll still be there to help, but it will go and basically immediately public. It won't wait after that.
Do you have a defined cutoff for this?
The defined cutoff for everything right now
is
that we're trying the 24th of April is what we're trying to do, because we're trying to have our consolidation done the 26th through the 28th of April.
I definitely think there's been a misconception, because everyone I've heard speaking about it believes the cutoff is the 31st.
It's the initial that if you read the form, that's the initial. Everything that's in there by the 31st is getting collected until then, and then being released as a group all at one time, and that is happening. But the proposal submission form is never going to close. It's just we have to pick dates along the way where this is all we can consolidate for the DReps. So the 31st of March, everything that's in by then is going to get moved all at one time into the GovTool. And they'll all be available in GovTool for the DReps to see. And then if people continue. What's that?
I told Kendrick, I got one more. So if somebody submits after the 31st, will it automatically go to this new tooling, or does it have to go through a vetting process before it gets there?
No vetting process at all. It'll go right in.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. So the only vetting that's occurring right now is help. If people want help setting their proposal up, and that's not even vetting. It's just if they ask us if they've got enough information or not, or too much information or whatever, and we can guide them in that way based on what we believe, based on the proposals that Intersect has presented up to this point and the feedback we've got.
Sorry to interrupt. So we are able to submit proposals now, right? Yeah. And then the criteria or maybe a rubric to go by would be to go through this Intersect
It's all it is that we give you the option, we give you some help if you need it getting your form filled out for right now, and then once it's there, then you're going to be able to let the DReps will start to give feedback, and we'll collect that feedback for you. But it's all there in the form. You don't really need us for that. It's just there, and you can react to the feedback. You can make changes to your proposal with the DReps as you move through that part of the process.
Okay, and then is there any? How can I get like a list of like proposals that were successful from the last round?
There had never been a round before. This is the first time that Cardano's ever done this as a decentralized budget. So this is our first round.
I thought this was the second round from last year.
No, last year it was money that came from IOG and Emergo to complete the development of a part of the roadmap that was already previously agreed upon and previously working to be funded. So none of the money that's in Intersect at this point has come from the Treasury. It's come from IO and Emergo, and the work has been done to do delivery assurance on core maintenance and work all of 2024 as a precursor to going on chain and doing this with the Treasury.
Okay. And then when is the cutoff date for the proposals? April 24th?
So March 31st is the first end date that every proposal that's up to then will be moved over to the new GovTool location, and from that point forward, the form will still be up. It'll be the GovTool form instead of the current form, and it will link the files directly into GovTool rather than coming in here and be collected and then go out.
Okay.
So, all right.
Okay. Perfect.
Thanks, Kenrick. Go ahead.
Yes, thanks, Lloyd, for putting this together and being so receptive. I don't know how you're keeping up with your schedule, honestly. But okay. So my question is, there's quite a lot of information about the budget and the roadmap and the different technical requirements that Intersect has put together for the year. There's not as much clarity how one proposal gets mapped to that. And, there's parts of the form that do sort of specify, you sort of try to say what part of the roadmap you're going to fulfill. But I guess what I'm trying to sort out is, should a proposal be really focused on one part of the roadmap, or is it appropriate for a proposal to try to fill several parts of the roadmap? What's your thoughts on that in terms of how you demonstrate that the proposal is going to? And in particular, I guess you've answered part of my question, is that it's not as though the Intersect technical committees are going to be the ones reviewing this. It really is just the DReps.
It's the DReps. So it really does come down to what you believe the DReps are willing to, participate with you on at this point. We put forward a proposal where Intersect would perform that role for the DReps. And as we know, that didn't land well. So we circled back to let the DReps take the first run at this. And wherever they need us to, there will be proposals coming from the committees. They'll be for very specific things that the committees are very good at, but there won't be anything where the committee's not going to put forward a proposal for something that another community member has put forward. It's not going to happen. You see what I mean? So that's where that's where that kind of line is drawn. So if you feel that there's something that your team is particularly well set up to do, make a proposal.
I have a follow-up then. You had an existing, the existing budget that you put together included items of particular projects from particular performers. Are those all going through review too, or how is that going to work?
Yeah, everything that was there, like you said, if it was already had particular performers, particular people doing certain work, those proposals are still coming forward with those people's names on them, and they'll be there. That's a lot of the folks at CDEC are putting together their bits and pieces that they're going to do, and they're going to put their proposals forward based on that. So it's the same companies you know that have done work on IO, or not IO, on Cardano, in partnership, often in partnership with IO on Cardano for years now, and they're all putting forward their own parts of whatever thing. Like, I can do this much of Laos and this much of Paris, and or in some cases it's like, I only do the audits of this particular kind of technology, and so I'll be listed to do those audits for these 5 or 6 things, that kind of thing.
All right,
so
thanks. That's helpful clarity. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Kenry. Christina, go ahead.
Thanks. I don't know if this is obvious. Surely this has been covered. With the budget that had been sent out before, with the spreadsheet and the line items for all the different things, it's like now that it's open for the community to see if they can contribute to that, if it's something they can do themselves, whatever. If a need doesn't get filled that you guys had forecasted, is Intersect going to be submitting requests for those line items?
We sure will. We consider, we're doing gap analysis, right? And if there's certain things that still we feel need to be done, we'll put proposals forward. If no one else has put a proposal forward, we'll put one forward.
But you're going to deliberately wait so as not to compete with. Is that
exactly? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, if the community's got someone doing that work, we actually don't, there's no need for us to be in there, because we don't actually do the work ourselves anyway, right? We just facilitate finding a vendor to get the work done. So if
you
there's
have to put in a budget line item for Intersect then?
We are putting a budget line item in for Intersect, yeah.
Okay.
It's actually in our budget proposal. There was one there in our budget proposal. It's $10 million US, and we lined out what we were using the $10 million for. It pays for the committee members' stipends.
Is that a proposal that's come out in reflection since this proposal submission process?
No, it was part of the original.
Just
it's out there. Yeah, no, it's been there.
Yeah,
the whole time.
It's just that spreadsheet. It's the same thing, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that was just that was already one of the line items in the spreadsheet, and so that hasn't changed. It's the same proposal that we're putting forward, with our same request, and that's the only thing. Ultimately, we're focused on that, and then we have individual committees are focused on some elements that really are the committee's business kind of thing. Where they would be looking for vendors. And that's the other thing. They're not putting that money in the committee to do the work. They're putting that money in the committee to do a procurement process to get people to do work for the committee. So that will also lend to other opportunities for Cardano community members that don't want to engage directly in the treasury withdrawal process. There will be, if the DReps approve it, there would be opportunities for community members to come to Intersect for any of that work that the committees put forward as what they think their particular specialties are.
Interesting. Thanks.
No problem. I see Cameron joined us and Jose joined us. Welcome, guys. Good to see you. I'm glad to have you here. If you guys have any questions as well, happy to answer them.
Lloyd, thank you for the invitation to speak. I'm just hearing your ideas and thinking if there's something to support. But for now, it's just hearing and nothing to comment for now. It's weird on me, but I'm out of ideas today. I'm so tired. I have a meeting with the governor of one of the Argentinian states today at the Organization of the American States. So just as an invite.
No worries at all. Glad to have you. And Cameron, you as well. Good to see you. I haven't seen you in a minute, but glad to see you back. If you have any questions, happy to help catch you up as well on anything that we've been working on here for the last few weeks or what we've got coming up in the next few weeks. I guess I can speak to that for a minute. That's the one kind of big thing that will change with the AMAs coming up in April, is that we will most likely move to much more specific, like topic focused, kind of like we did back, at the end of last year. We moved heavily to topic focused, and like if it's something that would fit in with any one of our committees and we can offer guidance on a particular set of proposals. That's the other thing that Intersect sees itself as useful, is that, we do have experts that are on many of these committees that can look at and review things and provide this non-binding guidance, but provide guidance to the DReps. And so if the DReps have questions on any particular, like we'll do a technically heavy day, we'll do a marketing heavy day, we'll do a governance heavy day, that kind of thing, and just kind of have broad topics, but have the right group of people from within the committees to come in and answer any questions that the DReps want to get deep into any one topic or any one proposal and try to sense make, where we'll be here for that. And that's kind of the direction we're seeing the AMAs moving to going into April, while we make these next steps to try and help everybody understand what we've got in the proposals. Thank you, Jose. Appreciate that.
I will take the opportunity to share some thoughts with you if it's time. If we have enough time. I'm thinking about some ways to push forward our objective as Cardano, and I really think the real goal we have is to have our blockchain as a real solution for war use cases, massive war use cases. So I was thinking about Trump's declaration where he said, well, we will use Ripple, Solana, and Cardano. And later on, he mentioned the Ethereum and Bitcoin, of course. But if we think about it, the Ripple blockchain is more focused on the bank system, on the traditional bank system. Solana, we already know, has a lot of architectural design failures. It fallen several times because of this approach. It's very fast, it's very cheap, but it's not for critical mission. So our niche of market probably should be the critical or the mission critical solutions like digital ID, national ID, academic registry, or medic registry, or this kind of solutions. And I was deeply thinking on it, and I think if we want the government to choose Cardano as the solution for this, in the case they decide to move forward with that kind of solution, our approach and where we are pushing forward, and I think everyone should think if this is a good approach and try to make this the same in their countries, should be to put the flag on the academic institutions, because a lot of countries, a lot of governments relies their critical decisions on the academics, on the universities. So thinking on that, last week with the IOC team, part of the IOC IOC team on Costa Rica, we are almost finishing the installation of the second Cardano node on one of the most important business school or business university on Costa Rica. And we will link it to the Cardano node on here in Buenos Aires, the UTN. And our idea is to expand that in order to create a Cardano blockchain network on as most universities as possible. Because it's very easy to enter there, since we have a complete academic background. Just when you mentioned, we have 239 academic scientific papers built by the geniuses like Philip Butler, Agelo Kiayas, Lars Brunies, the best mathematicians, cryptographers, and scientifics on the area, on this field around the world. This is a game over argument. Any university just gets combined with that argument. So I think if we were able to enter in a global network of universities connected through Cardano blockchain, probably we'll be very close when the moment arrives when governments has to decide which blockchain to use for mission critical solutions, to choose Cardano. This is our thought, and this is our approach. And I just wanted to share that vision in order, if you feel this has sense, just to collaborate in the objective it's a long trip because non-governments at all already decide that. But when the moment arrives, if we are prepared, probably we will be able to win this objective. So that's all. I'm sorry for
Not
the
at all. That's a beautiful vision, Jose, and I hope to see it come to fruition. Academics is a great, it is a great area where we can shine, and I do hope that it is one of hopefully many areas that we see real progress here over the next couple of years. So, and that's to wrap up for today. I want to just say, again, this is all about resource allocation to the community, based on what the DReps feel is best. So, bring your proposal forward. Put your proposal to the DReps. Even if you don't make it this time, the DReps say no this time. That doesn't mean that you didn't learn something and that you couldn't, bring it forward. Like, I can't tell you what the DReps will approve and won't approve. I have no idea. But if you have something like that, that's a thoughtful process that has an opportunity to grow Cardano, bring it to the DReps and ask them. And if they give you approval, then execute it to the absolute best of your ability and prove your model out that Cardano will shine there. That's what we're here for, right?
Thank you so much. I will do it.
Excellent. Awesome, Jose. Thank you so much. And thank you all for coming in today. Appreciate you guys that needed a catch up, that asked the great questions so that I could give a catch up. That's always helpful for me as well, to kind of reflect a little bit because we're so in the weeds some days. So it's really nice to step back and say, what have we really done over the last couple of weeks? And that's it. Apologies again for the technical problems in the beginning. We'll get them squared away for next week. Thank you guys all for your time today. Have a great rest of your day. Okay. Bye guys.
Thank you, Lloyd. Bye-bye.
Thanks,
Bye,
Lloyd.
everyone.
Really appreciate you doing this.